So now I need to take the tape off because we're going to paint the edges. One nail still hanging out. Okay, stir the paint up just a little bit because it's all kind of move on to my second coat. I'll mist it a little bit. How amazing did the little frog. So yes, in today's video we are going to be taking some of the secondhand finds that I found out and about, and I'm going to share with you my inspiration of what I'm going to do to these items to get them to be beautiful home decor again. If you are new here, my name is Yvonne and you've landed on GingerChickRehab, where I love to inspire others, not only with the makeovers that I do, but I also like to share my thrift hauls and my adventures of thrifting, looking for secondhand treasures, not only to decorate my own home with, but to resell. I have a couple retail booths in a local antique mall, and I also sell. One of my hot sellers is checkerboards, and I can't seem to keep them in my booth right now. So I find old cutting boards, old wood, that is nice and large in size to make them into primitive folk art checkerboard. I'm going to try to save this little detail at the top of this one. So I'm just going to go ahead and get it taped off. The color I chose for this chalkboard is DIY's Aviary. So it's a, it's a nice rich green. Oh, look at that green. That's a fun green. Add a little water to it because the wood is dry and it's catching. The things that got me attracted to DIY paint is that I can dry it in between coats and move on with the project. The colors are amazing too. This is why I don't want to use new wood, because it gives it so much character, all those cut marks, and then how it takes differently in different areas where there's probably staining, you know, oils and stuff. But oh my gosh, it really gives it that old-timey look, not like pre-sanding or doing anything like that, just letting the wood take whatever paint it's going to take in. So for my second coat, I just wet it down a little bit to make it so it slides a little bit easier, glides. So now I need to take the tape off because we're going to paint the edges. And the fun about folk art primitive is you can do it. The colors don't. The colors are just the colors. So I'm going to do DIY's Bohemian, which is a nice blue color. Let's see how my tape job does. I feel like I need that tape on there right now. There. Only because I don't want to take all day, you know. Like before I move on to start doing any checkboard or anything, I'm going to go ahead and seal this in with some polyacrylic clear matte. So now I'm doing a checkerboard, and I have this cute little bunny. Hello, bunny. And then as an accent, I have this stencil because the board is kind of on the big side. So I've already kind of measured for my checkerboard anyway. So I'm doing a checkerboard with Bohemian blue. Applying the Bohemian blue with a makeup sponge from the Dollar Tree store. Ooh, the satisfying of taking the tape off. Oh. Doo-doo. But I need to make sure that I leave room for this in the outline so he can be kind of high up. There's a little hole where there was somebody probably hung it. So 5 feet in there. So I'm just going to not even tape it down. Got it where I want it to be. So just going for it. I'll probably regret it. It'll probably shift on me. So now I'm going to outline my checkerboard itself. So I'm just going to run some tape right on top of that edge of the squares there. And then to make it a square, we'll just take an X-Acto knife, cut off the excess tape. It's nice to overlap them though, because then you get that nice square. You have a guide to cut on. Then you just lay another piece of tape. Just guesstimate how far out you want it to be. I don't need it to be terribly far. There again, just a makeup sponge. There we go. So for my stencil, I'm going to tone down the yellow a little bit because I did Queen Bee in this one. I'm going to do cake batter on this one. Which is, cake batter is really seems light. But since the bunny is kind of on the light side, just what looks translucent then becomes a color. And I'm going to do all 4 sides. See? See? You can see it. At first you probably I decided you can't really see the bunny very well. So I tried to match up my stencil as best as I could. I like that pop. But you did hear me say I sealed within polyacrylic, or I don't know what color I would have what the 2 clay-based paints would be mixing together. Okay, let's see if he has a shadow or not. Really not bad. At least he pops down. Unfortunately, the overlap here got a little wonky, but we're going to be distressing it anyway, so it'll be fine. I need to seal all the clay-based paint in, so I'm going to go back in with some of the polyacrylic. I'm going to take some 220 sandpaper and I'm going to sand it, distress it. Now what it'll do, it'll take some of the polyacrylic off, the clear coat off, and it'll go down. Whatever it takes off is what it takes off. So now I'm going to take some Fusion Aging Wax and then just wipe it on top of it, and that is going to bring it back alive. That is going to add that I've been around for a long time patina. So I'm not sure why nobody wanted this old, look, could you see that? See the waviness of the glass, how old this is? But nobody wanted this at the auction. It was at the end of the pick before they pick them all together. So I picked it up because I knew that I could paint that frame up, even with its brokenness, clean this mirror up, and somebody will love it again. But look at that waviness in the glass. That just shows you how old it is. It definitely needs cleaned. It definitely needs a new back, a new secure hanging system, and I'm hoping to achieve that. Okay, let's get this mirror cleaned off as much as I can. I don't know. I like the age of the imperfections of an old mirror. I know not everybody does. Try to get as much of the back cleaned off as I can. Take the air compressor. I want to make sure that there isn't anything hiding in any of the crevices. So I'm going to go ahead and tape this off. Now that I have it all taped off, I taped off the whole thing because I'm going to be spraying it with some shellac to help it bond to this part that's really super shiny. For the mirror, I am going to actually do In the Pickle, which is a very bright green, but the way you finish it off will give it that distinct look. So Sweet Pickins milk paint, In the Pickle, powder, equal parts water. Stir it up until it's all incorporated. Watch the little bubbles. Make sure I get it all off the bottoms and smush it onto the sides. Okay. Stir the paint up just a little bit because it's all kind of settled to the bottom. Wipe my brush off. This is where that shellac is going to come in handy on that really smooth, area. And then this is usually the part that's fun, that does some fun stuff. I'm hoping. And then we just paint right over the brokenness. Okay, we have it all painted. We're just going to let it sit off to the side, let it dry before doing the next coat. Okay, now the first coat is dry. We're going to go ahead and apply the second coat, which you'll see is like got a lot more coverage. There is some crackling and some chippiness going on, but we need to get that second coat on to get it covered. Now I'm going to take aging wax right straight out of In the Pickle. Oh my goodness. So aging wax to start toning it down. So working section by section. Then I'll just start to rub off the excess. Whatever comes off, chips off, even the better. Talk about a color change, huh? Hold on, you can't see. That's a huge color change. Now I'm just taking a little bit of the decrepit dust just over those amazing details to pop them up. Like give it a different hue, couple different hues. Like the aging wax is one color, the decrepit dust is another color. And just really give it that age. Okay, time to get the glass cleaned up. So I'm just going to use some of this brown paper tape to hold this down today. I'm at the end of my roll of paper, so sometimes it gets a little bit difficult. It's not that heavy of a mirror, so I'm just going to use these. And I usually always do my mirrors 2 different ways. So somebody, if they don't have that space, then they can hang it the other way. So I have this little guy. Somebody spray painted him like maybe it was supposed to look bronze, brass. It just, look at, he just fades into my hair. You can't even see him. So he is a beautiful frog candelabra. So we're going to go ahead, candlestick. So we're going to go ahead and paint him up and get him to pop a little bit more. I'm going to see what I can do with this little guy. So I have Dixie Belle's iron paint out. I think he was spray painted. So I'm just going to go ahead and dab it on, which dabbing it gives it a nice healthy coat. A little bit on the messy side here because it's such a small object to be doing, and you have to get in all the little crevices to do his lily pad. I needed a longer brush to get inside his mouth. So I kind of want him to be a little bit of blue and green, so I'm going to do a little bit of do a little bit of yellow. And then we're going to do a little bit of the green, just get it all going on here. And then we'll see what he becomes. Oh my goodness, how amazing did the little froggy turn out? Oh my goodness. So now I need to seal this in. I'm going to use some Weather Defense metal spray. So I have this pair of, they look like scoops, but they are actually wall sconces that you'd put a candle in. Though they're just wood, they're, you know, that dated mid-century modern kind of look, but I'm going to paint them up and put a redesigned mold in them to just give them a little bit more light. So I have one of the redesigned new molds, or enchanted shroom. So I'm going to be doing the smaller ones. I'm going to go ahead and mix it up, equal parts. And there is a couple little shrooms that you can also do. We'll see how much I have left over. So equal parts of amazing casting resin that sets up amazingly fast. You just stir the two parts together. It'll turn cloudy, but then once it's mixed together, it will actually turn clear. So for those little wall sconces, I need to do the thinner ones. It's nice to push it around with a popsicle stick so you don't accidentally overfill. It doesn't take long for this amazing resin to set up. You can see that it started to turn white. You can feel some heat, and then you just have to let it do what it's going to do. Now that these are set up, I'm going to go ahead and pop them out. I think they are soft enough still that I can just go ahead and cut it off. So now I think they will, see, look at, they'll fit just fine. How fun. I was trying to see if you layer them, how cool would that look? I do kind of like that. Okay. Now to adhere them on, I'm going to mix up some Bondo. I like Bondo because it's like a quick dry time, 10 minutes, it'll be dry. And then if anything squirts out, because I can get all the way to the edge, I can just scrape that off because it's a little bit rubbery right at first until it's completely set up. I've not used Bondo before. It's a 2-part. So I'm going to go ahead and get some out. This is just the putty. And then this is a hardener, and it's amazing that a little dab, I probably got too much out. A little dab will, you know, it kind of sticks all together. Oh, that hardener just hardens it up, and it starts to set up in about 10 minutes. So you're just going to butter it on. And I'm an edge person, so I'm going to take it all the way out to the edge. Add this. I kind of like it. I thought it would be a neat little detail, an extra detail, I guess, in it. The nice thing about Bondo is you can take that excess that's squirted off. You can just pick it off within a reason. Like, this is 5 minutes after it has been setting up. But that way you can get all that excess off there, and you're for sure that your piece is going to stay adhered. Of course, I'm trying to do this one-handed for you all, so there's that. But yeah, see how easily it just comes. I want to make sure that my paint is going to stick, adhere. Resin is paintable, but I just want to give it a make sure. So I'm going to go ahead and seal everything in with a couple coats of shellac. For these sconces, I'm going to go with Summer Crush by DIY. I'm going to use the really long paintbrush to get into the inside of this because I do want to paint that too. The tools that we have to use sometimes. I did tape off the back as to not make a mess on the back. And for my coat, I'm just going to go right over this for right now. We'll bring out details later, but right now it's just about getting this painted up. Like about DIY paint is I can help it along dry with a heat gun and then move on to the many coats that it'll take to cover this up. When I move on to my second coat, I'll mist it a little bit. That'll just help it glide a little bit easier. The chalk-based paint, if I would put it on wet or dry, it would just kind of like start to take the paint off. So misting it just a little bit with a mister bottle helps. So I need to get this sealed in, so I'm just going to use some matte finish clear coat. If the clear coat is dry, we're going to go in with some aging wax. Start bringing out some of the details, go right on there. And as many of the little crevices as I can get in. So then it's a wipe on and then wipe off the excess. Oh, what can I say about this winter scene? If I'm not holding the back out, this glass in this picture is going to fall through. The frame is terribly broken up. It has been spilled on, has a huge stain, and nobody wanted it at the auction, so because it's got brokenness. But once you paint that up, you don't see that brokenness, and I just think the age of that scene in there. It's just perfect for the upcoming winter season. So I told you this piece needs some help. Get this print out first. Okay, we got that removed. Now I'm getting this to be back on. As you see, it's not attached anymore. Oh, okay. Oh my goodness. Not a very fun way that they put that in there by any means. Okay, so we're gonna take these off. Probably somehow they might have hung it. I don't know why they are here. I'm gonna use some Tite Bond Quick and Thick. Oops. One nail still hanging out. Okay, it's kind of a hard place for a clamp to go into, but I'm going to go ahead and make sure we're kind of square. And then we'll go ahead and shoot a brad in there. So for that little frame, we're going to do some flower sack. Still looking for that aged kind of look, so milk paint is perfect. So it's equal parts the dry powder to equal parts water. Hoping for some chippiness or some crazing to match the age. My frame is back together, yay! And I cleaned it off as much as you possibly can with all that detail. We are going to spray it with a few coats of shellac. So my paint has had a chance to thicken up, so I'm going to stir the yummies off the bottom where it's settled. That'll be too much paint on my brush, so I'll wipe that off. But now it's time to get the first coat on this frame. Sometimes you can just kind of have to dab to get into all that wonderful detail. Okay, we have the first coat on. We're just going to let it sit off to the side and dry. Now that the first coat is dry, we're going to go ahead and start applying the second coat. Not too much crazy crackling going on quite yet, so hopefully when we add that second coat, it will make a difference. I love it. Look at the crackling and the crazing. So now to finish it off, give it some age. I know you guys guessed it, aging wax. Actually, I probably should do clear because I haven't sealed that in. Wax straight on this, it would darken up that paint, and I don't want it to do that. So I'm going to take clear wax first, and whatever chips off, I'm happy that it'll chip off. I have the clear wax on. Now I'll go in with the aging wax. And wipe off the excess. Like I said, I'm not being gentle. I want to chip off. If you think it's a little dark yet before it dries, just take some more of that clear wax right on top of it. And we'll go pop it. Okay, let's get this glass cleaned up. Oh, it's a dirty. One of those handy dandy tools they used at Hobby Lobby that I had to have. Well worth the investment. There, now that's not going to move. And then we just need to put this back on. So I'm going to use some of this tape to hold the back on. I'm not going to do nails that would scrape up somebody's wall. Put a hanger on this because that's not going to work very well to put a hanger on. And like I said, it's not, this goes into there, so putting like backing paper on it, it's going to still be bumped. So we're going to put the hanger on the back of this to hang it. Of course it's not the exact, it's not exact, right? 11.5. See if I can get these edges cleaned up just a little bit. So thank you so much for watching today's video, and what did you think? What was the favorite item that I made over today, and have I inspired you to look at secondhand finds in a new way? Please leave a comment down below. Remember to like and share this so it gets out if you enjoy this kind of content. And as always, if you're part of our YouTube family, thank you so much. And if you're new and you're checking out the channel for the first time and you liked what you saw, please hit that subscription button along with the notification bell so you know we uploaded a new video. And we will see you next time, guys, and you can see what we're up to. Bye.